So I saw the Mario movie a couple of days ago. I didn't really have much time to make a video immediately after, but I think that's good. So my thoughts about the movie could digest a little more. Um, and I know there's a lot of controversy about how um, but before I say what my own opinion is on the movie, I just want to say I know there's a lot of controversy about how critics uh, have been kind of bashing the movie, and a lot of the audience is saying like the critics are wrong. And no, they're not. I'm not saying that I share their opinion on the movie. I'm just saying it's an opinion. There is no wrong. There's no right. There's no wrong. It's just opinion. So stop telling people they're wrong about the Mario movie, whether they loved it or hated it. Because if you do, then you're wrong. Anyway, with that out of the way, this movie was, it was fun. It wasn't, it wasn't amazing. This movie did not, it didn't blow my mind or anything. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. I just had fun with it. I will say I was not expecting much of a story from this movie, really, because that's not generally what I expect from Mario games, and so you know, I didn't really expect too much from the movie either. More than anything, I wanted this movie to be fun, and that is exactly what I got. So ultimately, I can't complain too much. However, I will say that the story somehow was still lacking even more so than I expected it would. Like, they just kind of rush you into the Mushroom Kingdom. It sort of feels like they're trying to squeeze in as many references to like Mario games and stuff as they possibly can. And it's fun for sure, but we don't really get to explore any of the things that the film introduces uh for more than like a couple of minutes, basically. It feels like the film is just like introduce this thing from this Mario game and then move on and then do this and do this, and it just kind of keeps repeating like that. Um, which I feel is a bit unfortunate. I feel like it would have been more interesting if it maybe toned down some of the references. Don't get me wrong, I want it to have Mario references. It's the Mario movie. Of course it's going to have that. But, like, tone down some of the references and let us, like, explore a specific aspect of Mario's world for a little bit, you know? Like, especially as someone who has, always been a big fan of Mario. I've always been a big fan of Mario's world. Um, So I would have liked to sort of, see them explore things a little bit more. The voice acting. I want to get to the voice acting because I know a lot of people have, been making comments about the voice acting. And yeah, I agree. Chris Pratt in the trailers does not sound good, but in the movie, he sounds all right, actually. In fact, he did a pretty good job, I'd say. Like, not bad at all, really. I know I saw one complaint saying it sounds like he kind of changes Mario's accent a few times, like during the commercial, the commercial that him and Luigi film at the start of the movie, he sounds like very Italian, and then for the rest of the movie he sounds kind of more normal. But I think that's intentional. Like, I've seen people complain about this as if they didn't realize it was like probably an intentional choice. Of course, he's playing up his voice for the commercial, and yeah, I thought that was fine. I thought he did a good job. Um, the only voice that I strongly disliked was Donkey Kong's, with Seth Rogen voicing Donkey Kong. I did not like that, mainly because of the fact that I just hear Seth Rogen. Like I'm too used. Like Seth Rogen doesn't put on any kind of a voice for Donkey Kong. It's just Seth Rogen's voice, and that's all I can hear. Especially when he does the laugh. It's just like this isn't Donkey Kong. This is Seth Rogen Kong. Although in a strange way, I feel almost the opposite way for Bowser, which is weird. I'm not sure how to explain it, but for Bowser, I can also kind of hear like Jack Black coming through, especially in the musical sections, but not in a bad way. Um, this is very hard to explain, but like Bowser's personality in this movie very much feels like if you combined Jack Black with Bowser, but it is supremely entertaining. Like he's so entertaining in the movie. And Jack Black, of course, does do a bit of a voice that does, sound good for Bowser. Um, so like, I don't know. I really maybe it'll sound like I'm being unfair to Seth Rogen here, but I kind of got to give Bowser a pass just because of how entertaining he was. Seth Rogen doing the Seth Rogen laugh is, you know, I've had enough of it. I don't need that in movies anymore. I don't need any more Seth Rogen laugh. I don't need any more Seth Rogen voice acting. Period. Straight up, to be honest. I just generally don't think he's that good at it, if I'm being honest. But that's just me. Charlie Day as Luigi, fantastic. He did a great job. Um, Keegan Michael Key as Toad. Did I say his name right? I'm gonna look stupid if I didn't say his name right, but I think I said his name right. Yeah. Uh, Keegan is Toad. Great, actually. I'm actually surprised by how much I actually really, really liked Toad's voice. Toad just sounds so good in this movie. It's exactly what I would kind of expect Toad to sound like, except not annoying, if that makes sense. Because, like, if Toad sounded the way that, like, he sounds in the games, that would be fucking awful. Like, that, you couldn't listen to that character in a movie for that long. Like, it's fine as, like, a quick voice line, but you couldn't hear, like, that Toad voice for a whole movie. It would just it would be awful. It would be the worst thing ever. Um, but like his voice in this movie, like it matches the character really well, and it doesn't have that ear grating feeling that you would probably get if they just used like the voice from the video game. So yeah, really great job on that. The animation is absolutely gorgeous. Um, like I feel like Illumination films to me honestly generally don't look bad per se, but they don't look like super spectacular either. They just look like, yeah, that's fine. Whatever. Um, but in this movie, it looks like they actually, tried. Probably because they want to keep, probably because they knew this movie would make a lot of money and they want to keep working with Nintendo on more movies, which I hope they do. Because I definitely did enjoy this one. Yeah, the action animation, like every time there's an action scene happening, which is most of the movie, because as I said, this movie is very fast paced. It's like this happens and this happens and this happens very, very quickly. Um, but all the like animation in like these sort of action oriented parts, especially like the sort of Mario Kart esque scene in the movie that takes place on an actual Rainbow Road. Of course, uh, is that a spoiler? I don't think so. I don't really think this movie can be spoiled. Like the Story's pretty generic, in all honesty. Oh yeah, in this movie, nothing is really explained, which isn't really that big of a deal. If you're familiar with the games, but honestly, even as someone who is familiar with the games, it did bug me a little bit. I'm trying to do a hand signs, but I can only do so many with these controllers. But yeah, it bothered me a little bit. Um, Partly because I didn't even understand. In the games, it's kind of fine. You kind of just accept like, oh, the princess captured, go help her, whatever. But in a movie, Mario arrives at the Mushroom Kingdom, and then Toad shows up, and he's immediately like, "Hey Mario, I want to be your best friend, and also I'm going to help you save your brother." By the way, spoiler: Luigi's the one who's captured in this movie, not Princess Peach. If that wasn't already kind of apparent from the trailers. But yeah, he's like, "I'm going to help you capture your brother. I'm going to introduce you to the princess." And then Mario meets the princess, and the princess is like, "Oh, you shouldn't be in my castle." But anyway, I'm gonna help you save your brother. And it's just like, I don't know. It kind of feels like these characters almost like they befriended each other so quickly that it's almost unbelievable in a way. I don't know. It comes off a little weird and awkward. Well, I also want to say that while I do like what they did with Peach's character, like I like that she's not just a damsel in distress character, because in all honesty that would be kind of boring. That wouldn't be an interesting movie character. uh but the thing I don't like is that they made Luigi have that role instead, which sucks because at the start of the movie he's a great character. And don't mind what happened to my arm. At the start of the movie, Luigi is a great character. Sorry, I was having some technical difficulties with my controller there for a minute. As I was trying to say, I really like what they did. Jesus, what was I on? I'm sorry, these videos on the second channel are unscripted. Oh yeah, I really like what they did with Peach, but I don't like that they basically just replaced the kind of less interesting role that she tends to have in the games, and they just gave that to Luigi, because of the fact that Luigi actually comes off as one of the most interesting and likable characters right from the start of the movie. And I love the chemistry that he actually has with Mario in the movie. Um, when they're on screen together, it works great. Um, but they're not on screen together very much in the movie. Luigi's just in a cage for like a huge chunk of the movie, and it just feels like there's so much missed potential there. He does get a moment to kind of shine near the end of the movie when him and Mario are fighting Bowser, but I don't know. I would have liked to see more from Luigi in this movie. I feel like Bowser didn't really have to kidnap anyone in this movie. Actually, he technically does kidnap Peach very briefly at one point in the movie, but it's like a very very small part of the movie, really. But yeah, he didn't really have to kidnap anyone for to set the plot up. Like, they could have just, Mario could have just gone to the Mushroom Kingdom, befriended Toad and Peach, and then once he realizes that Bowser is coming to like destroy the Mushroom Kingdom, he could just want to help, you know. Uh, like that's fine. He doesn't. I don't know. I don't think he needs more reason than that. To be honest, don't get me wrong. I get why they went the direction they went, but I don't know. I just feel like it would have been worth trying something else, just to keep Luigi in the movie a little bit more. Also, this isn't really that important an aspect to this review, but I want to say that the nihilistic Luma character who is in a cage. Where when Luigi gets captured, he sees all of Bowser's other prisoners, and one of them is just this like Luma who's like always smiling and has this cheerful voice, but just keeps talking about like hopelessness and shit. Uh, I love that character. Ton. Give him his own movie. Please. I don't feel like I need any more explanation on that. But yeah, ultimately in the end, I enjoyed this movie a lot. I had a fun time with it. But the story is kind of a mess. But it's a fun mess. It's a big fun mess, and I would probably give it a 6 out of 10. So yeah, that's my opinion on the Mario movie. Let me know in the comments down below what your opinion on the Mario movie was, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.